Is this the very best first adventure bike, or could it be my next bike? Let's find out. Well, the first thing I've noticed is the foot controls are massively different from the Street Triple, as you would expect. But I guess just to clarify, this isn't a review, it's more just a first impressions, as I look to potentially either buy a second bike, which is the preferred option, or sell the Street Triple and buy an adventure bike. The big bonus with this bike is the price, coming in at £6,000. There's the potential to keep the Street Triple. Well, very first impressions. Positive. It's going to take some getting used to for the different position of the foot pedals, but I'd imagine even a few miles you'll kind of switch your muscle memory around a little bit. But it turns easy enough. Quite like the exhaust note. It's that one cylinder, isn't it? I think it's around 40 horsepower. Not sure what the torque is. And I believe the weight is around, or just under 200 kilograms. So it is a bit heavier than the Street Triple, but not massively. It would be nice if you could feel the gear change a bit more. You can straight away tell the difference from the Street Triple, which obviously was going to always be the case. But I wouldn't be buying this bike for out and out power. It's more for its carrying capacity, its comfort, and travelling over longer distances. In terms of vibrations, I guess at these speeds you wouldn't expect to feel any, and it feels alright. The big dial is easy to read, which is already an advantage over the Street Triple, which has that wacky TFT screen. But the way the seating position is, and the seat, I think I could sit like this all day. Don't think there's any question marks about that. I don't think I'd go for this particular colour scheme. I think I prefer the black with like the yellow and gold accents on it with the gold rims. It's very smart. But I think ultimately, could I see myself touring on this? Maybe it's impossible to say so soon, but I'm already leaning towards yes. It is so easy to ride. If there's any other Himalayan owners watching this video, what is the wind protection like on the windscreen? I have seen much higher ones. One thing I have noticed is exactly where I put my feet down on the floor. The foot pegs dig into my ankles. And that initial wariness, if you like, of jumping on a different bike from the Street Triple, obviously still being quite a new rider, is very quickly wore off. And that, I think, is partly thanks to this bike. The weight must be incredibly low down because it feels light and easy to handle. And with the seating position being so natural, gives you like a relaxing vibe. Well, that's an odd thing to say, but I do feel very relaxed and very chilled. And if anybody's wondering where this is, by the way, this is South Shields, which is very close to Iron City Motorcycles, and I've got to give a big thank you to Iron City Motorcycles for letting us have a ride of the bike. I was just there the week before for the summer party, which is where I first actually sat on the Himalayan they had in stock. Actually, I think if we can head down here a little bit further, I was going to try and pull over somewhere quiet, but I don't think seafront and sunshine equals quiet. Going over the speed bump there, I purposely went carefully over the middle of the speed bump to see what the suspension felt like, and my word, that soaks it up incredibly. I think we're just going to nip in here for a second and I'll have one last quick walk around the bike. So I think in summary, can I see me buying a Himalayan 450? Well, what I can certainly say is I've seen nothing today that has put us off. Overall, it handles fantastically. It sounds quite nice. The power is, as expected, quite sedate. Not that I've been anywhere to really test it today, but I fully suspect it'll have enough power for overtaking and probably cruising along the motorway at 60 to 70. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. But the overall fit and finish of the bike is impressive. I like the TFT dash. Yeah, I'm impressed. I do find the exhaust note quite addictive. It is very charming and characterful. It doesn't sound aggressive by any means, but it does sound quite purposeful. I've been stuck in traffic for the last, 10-15 minutes or so. And one thing I have noticed, and again it's another comparison to the Street Triple because I can't really compare it to much else, it is probably easier to ride through stop-start traffic, which is odd because the seat height's about the same, if not a little bit lower, and it's a little bit heavier, but it just seems to go slow speeds a little bit easier. Well, Iron City Motorcycles just round this, or rather just through these sets of lights. So I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I hope you're going to join us on my journey into deciding what replacement bike or what second bike to get. And the criteria is basically just the adventure stroke touring bike. And I don't want to go out and test ride hundreds of bikes. There's the Himalayan 450, potentially the Transalp 750 I think it is, and then one of the Tiger range. So I'll see if I can arrange them over the next couple of weeks, time permitting, and get a good feel for all three before coming to a final conclusion. So we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.